Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. And today, this is Subrata from Let's Talk, Let's Connect. So Let's Talk, Let's Connect என்னென்ன ஆல்ரெடி உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். தெரியாதவங்க என்ன நினைச்சீங்கன்னா இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்மை நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்ட இதை பத்தி நீங்க சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா உங்க மூலமா ஒரு 20 பேருக்கு இது தெரிய வரும். ஸோ யூ கேன் டூ தட். அண்ட் இல்ல எனக்கு இதை பத்தி கத்துக்கணும் அண்ட் இந்த கூகுள் பார்த்துலாம் எது என்ன கத்துக்கிறதுக்குன்னா சோம்பேத்தனமா இருக்கு, ஈஸியா கத்துக்கணும், 1 hourல அந்த டாபிக்கை கவர் பண்ணிடணும், 1.5 hours அந்த டாபிக் என்னங்கறத எங்கள்கிட்ட சொன்னீங்கன்னா நாங்க அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி we will try to arrange a facilitator. ஸோ அதுவும் நீங்க பண்ணலாம். ஸோ இதை எப்படி பண்றது அப்படின்னா we will provide that link in the chats இந்த குரூப்ல ஜாயின் ஆயிக்கோங்க. ஸோ நீங்க செஷன் எடுக்க நினைக்கிறீங்க, இல்லைன்னா செஷன் வந்துட்டு ஒரு டாபிக் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறீங்கன்னா செகண்ட் லிங்க் கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு இது பண்ணிக்கலாம். அண்ட் இது வரைக்கும் 200+ செஷன்ஸ் முடிஞ்சிருக்கு. அது என்னென்ன செஷன்னா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சீங்க அப்படின்னா நீங்க அதுக்கு அடுத்து இருக்க லிங்க்ல கிளிக் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அந்த லிங்க்ல வந்துட்டு யூடியூப்ல இது வரைக்கும் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ண எல்லாமே இருக்கும். ஸோ தட் வில் பி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல் ஐ திங்க். அண்ட் இதுக்கு மேலும் ஏதாச்சும் டவுட் இருந்தா கீழே இருக்க நம்பர்ல கால் பண்ணி கீட்டு கிளாஸ் வச்சு எப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிற அந்த விஷுவல் ஆர்ட்டை பத்தி ஈஸியா சிம்பிளா அவங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சதை வச்சு அவங்க அதுல ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டட் அண்ட் அது நம்மளுக்கு சொல்லி தரதுக்காக தான் வி ஹாவ் ஜுதித் பிரபா. அண்ட் அவங்கள பத்தி சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா ஆர்ட்ஸ்ல அவங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். ஸோ ஒரே ஆர்ட் மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணாம ரெசின் ஆர்ட், ஃபேஷன் இலஸ்ட்ரேஷன், அப்படி அக்ரிலிக் தெரிஞ்சதை இப்ப நம்மளுக்கு சொல்லி தர போறாங்க. தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் ஆஃபரிங் a session மேம். Now the session is yours. And மத்தவங்க எல்லாம் ஏதாச்சும் டவுட் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா சாட் செக்ஷன்ல போடுங்க. லாஸ்ட்ல கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் செஷன்ல நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு கேட்டுக்கலாம். இப்போதைக்கு நீங்க வந்துட்டு சாட் செக்ஷன்ல போயிட்டீங்கன்னா நடுவுல இன்டரப்ஷன் வராம இருக்கும். அண்ட் the session is in recording. அதுல யாருக்காச்சும் ஏதாச்சும் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தாலும் let us know. Thank you. Now the session is yours. நீங்க going on mute.
Thank you, Suprada. Good evening all. This evening I'm here to share few words about calligraphy and art of writing letters or script. The art of writing also depends on the flow and rhythm of the materials we use. So equally, the tools we use for writing is equally important. Hope you're all ready with your basic paper, pen, pencil, etc. And initially I will be starting with the introduction, and then I will be explaining copperplate calligraphy in detail. Come, let's get started. Calligraphy is an ancient art form communicated in different ways using different alphabets. So இப்போ calligraphy என்ன பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ calligraphy can be divided based on the culture and the place of origin. There are so many different types of calligraphies found. Example like Arabic calligraphy, Western calligraphy, Chinese calligraphy, Indian calligraphy. So we have lots of calligraphy scripts based on the cultures and the place of origin. Now I'm explaining the Indian calligraphy. In India, there are India is mixed with different language, script, and culture as we across each border state. Hindi being the official language in India, Devanagari is one of the famous calligraphy script still followed and written by many. Religious texts are the main carrier of Indian calligraphy art. And now the calligraphy is divided based on the styles. There are different styles of calligraphy followed day to day. There like flax calligraphy, brush calligraphy, Gothic calligraphy, copperplate calligraphy. Fax calligraphy is nothing but it is a writing or script written with a basic pen and pencil. Based on the styles, calligraphy is divided as fax calligraphy, brush calligraphy, Gothic calligraphy, and copperplate calligraphy. Fax calligraphy. This is created and written using pen and pencils. Normala நம்ம எழுதுறது எல்லாமே fax calligraphy தான். And then the script or typography created using brush pens or brush markers that comes under brush calligraphy. And then the Gothic calligraphy. These are all the bold black letters I have shown in the image. those black bold letters or the Gothic style, and copper plate calligraphy is the one today I'm going to discuss. These are all the elegant and decorative style of creating script, with thin and thick strokes with a lot of flourishing details. To start with the calligraphy, if you are a beginner, I would suggest you to try your hands on fax calligraphy first, so that you can practice on the flow of your hands as well as the pens or pencils, which will be comfortable in using your calligraphy pens. So to begin with calligraphy, we need to know about 3 basic steps. That is the tools and supplies. The tools and supplies required or needed to write, and posture and pen handling, practicing with strokes and letters. Come, let's discuss about these 3 points in brief. First, the tools and supplies. In the major tools required for writing of pen, inks, and paper. Pen. There are 2 types of holders. We write using nibs. There are 2 types of holders available in the market now. So that the first is a straight holder and the second is the oblique holder. Straight holder is nothing but the holder which looks like a normal pen, which has a cavity in the middle, which I will be showing when I'm demonstrating, or I will be writing the letters. So I will be showing both the holders and what are the difference found in the straight holder and the oblique holder. And oblique holders are the holders which we generally use for calligraphy, and in no particular order. They have separate angled flange to hold the nibs. As a beginner, you can start with any type of holders. Both the holders are similar. If you are a left-hand user, you might try it out with straight holder first. In no particular condition, that it's just my advice and my suggestion. Inks. The next tools and supplies you're going to discuss is about the inks. There are so many types of inks available in the market. There are few brands of inks used for calligraphy. These are the inks like Ecoline inks, Sumi inks, Bombay inks, Krishna inks. These are all both the high-end and low-end low-end inks that are used for calligraphy. If you are a beginner, I would suggest the following inks for the practice, which are budget friendly too, and it is user friendly. For example, walnut inks, water-based handmade colors from Oricali. Oricali is a website and it is a brand where you can buy handmade colors. And Krishna inks. These 3 inks are seriously very good, which are affordable and user friendly. And PH Martin inks or Bombay inks or little bit and high-end products which are used by pro users. You can also try your hands on all the inks. Today I am going to show I am going to use the gouache or acrylic diluted inks. I use acrylic paints in a diluted way. Acrylic paints in a diluted way. I will be showing how to create those paints and how I am using those. These are all the few inks in the market that are the double-sided inks. See this double shaded blue and brown shaded inks, the Krishna inks. This brand gives seriously a very beautiful look with double shades, which are economical too. And you can try that. And these are all few inks in the market used for calligraphy. The next thing we are going to discuss is the papers. The selection of papers is the most important factor to be considered. Use the paper of minimum 120 GSM for letterings. Minimum 120 GSM papers are preferred for calligraphies. If you don't select the proper paper, it might bleed. That is, the paper might absorb the ink so that the ink may spread, so that your lettering is not properly done, and the nibs may also get spoiled. So selection of paper should be done properly. I have mentioned few papers like Rhodia papers, Fabriona, Khadi papers, handmade papers. These are all the papers which are used for letterings. As a beginner, you can use any paper of minimum 120 GSM. And this is the other important tool that should be taken into consideration for calligraphy. I would suggest Nikoji nibs and Hero 41 nibs for the beginners, which are flexible and can bear the varying handling pressure of the beginners. As a beginner, we don't know how much pressure has to be given to the nib. So the Nikoji nibs and the Hero 41 nibs can bear your pressure, even though the pressure is not in a uniform way. As a beginner, you can use Nikoji and Hero 41. These are all few nibs I have used for calligraphy. That is Nikoji, Braille Steno, EF66, Hero 41 and Hunt 101. And the next image shows the basic parts of a nib. In calligraphy, you must concentrate high on your nibs. The percentage of preferring a nib is more. So carefully select the nib before starting with calligraphy. These are all the basic parts of a nib. I will be explaining each part of the nib when I am demonstrating in detail. Preparing your nibs. How to prepare your nibs. I'm just explaining how to prepare it, and I will be demonstrating it once I have completed this. Clean the nibs with a tissue or clean cloth before using the nibs. Always clean your nibs, and then just tuck the nib in the potato for a few minutes. The reason why you are keeping the nib in the potato is because the potato will remove the thin film. New nibs or the nibs we are using regularly will have a thin layer of plastic coating or a thin layer of paint or thin layer of moisture. Dirt can be in the nib. So that when you stuck it in the potato, the thin film of any layer can be removed. And the nib, after a few minutes, just remove the nibs and clean it with a cloth. Thus, the nib is ready to use. You can also use the light flame using the lighters on the nib, slightly heat the nib so that the thin layer can go off. But usually I don't encourage using flames to the nib. You may overheat the nib. The nib might get damaged. And if it get overheated, then it may hurt your hands too. So I generally don't encourage to use flame in the nibs. This is how you are preparing your nibs to use. Once you're done using the nibs, after completing your writing, after completing your lettering part, then how will you preserve or how will you store the nibs? This is the storing and preserving nibs is also important because the nibs could get rust. Once you are done with the nibs, please be aware of preserving the nibs properly, which may rust when exposed to sunlight and moisture. Just wash the nibs in the normal water and clean it thoroughly with the tissues or towels. You may also use toothpaste to wash the nibs. While using toothpaste, you can have a toothpaste to wash the nibs, and then you can use warm water to wash the nibs, and then so that after cleaning the nibs, you must store the nibs in a airtight container with covered paper or something, covered plastic cover, so that it is not exposed to sunlight or moisture. That's all about the tools and supplies. Next is the posture and handling method. This is a basic worksheet I will be showing you, and how I will be showing how to write in this worksheet. This is a basic worksheet for copper plate calligraphy, where the letters written should be parallel to the 55-degree lines. The letters you write in copper plate calligraphy should always be in a 55-degree angle. Generally, when we write in a normal daily use, we orient our letters in 90 degrees, but in copper plate we should uh, write our letters in a 55-degree. The baseline is see the line B is the baseline, where normally all the letters sits touching the waistline. The waistline and the baseline are the middle two lines where the letters stand. And then the ascending lines are the lines which go for letters like L, H, D, B. Those letters will join the ascending lines, and letters like G, Q, F will comes under descending lines, will touch the descending lines. The only letter that touches both the second ascending and second descending lines are J. The capital uppercase J is the only letter which touches both the ascending and the descending lines. The other letters will all come under the first ascending and first descending lines. Okay, so that these are the nib practices. First, I have shown is the nib practices. I will be starting my demonstration by now. I will be explaining how to write. This is the oblique holder, and this is the straight holder. The difference between these two holders is the cavity. See, you have a separate flange in the oblique holder, and you have a cavity in the straight holder where you can place your nibs. I will be showing you how to place the nib in the oblique holder first. Before preparing your pen for writing, you must have a potato. Take the nib. I am using Nikoji nib now. Just stuck the nib in the potato. Just stuck it in the nib till the slant line. Just the top tip of the nib should be stuck into the potato. Don't push it so hard so that the nib might broke. Okay, let it be for a few minutes, and I will be showing how to fix nibs in the straight holders first. This is the straight holder, and you may find the cavity in between. See, those four wing-like forms. In between the wing-like forms, you must place the nib, and you must just push it inside. Done. The nib is ready to use. This is how you prepare your straight holders. I am not going to use straight holders now. I am going to use oblique holder. I generally use oblique holder for my letterings. The holders are also available in wood and plastic. This is the wooden holder and this is the plastic holder. When you are using the oblique holder, this is the flange. I told you, right? The extra flange, angled flange. So just push it from the up, from downward direction, from the from down to up, so that you can remove this golden flange and the oblique holder. Now take your nib, and then just separate the flanges. Just lose the flange, insert your nib not so deep. Only see till this line I have inserted. If you want to, only if you loosen your flange, the nib may come out or go in. If you leave it, it may sit. So now the nib is ready. Then hold this end tightly. Can you see the hole properly? Insert. The golden flange. Yeah, that's it. The pen is ready to use. I am using a 120 that this is the worksheet I have shown in the PPT. Always hold the nib in this direction. See the line, the 55-degree line, and my hand. In a 55. Okay, and I'm writing the letter E. See, all my vertical lines should be parallel to the 55-degree line. B, C, D. This is how you should write all the vertical lines should be. You must vary the thin lines and thick lines. This is how you do the Fox calligraphy. Thin and thick lines. If you are writing the letter A, thin line, thick line, and thin line. There is no much difference, but still try to create difference using pressure. Thin lines and thick lines. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Yes, audible.
But something
Is the video is clear?
There is a network issue, I think. The video is okay-ish.
Video is okay.
Network issue. Other
Yeah.
than that, no problem. The network is
Okay, yeah,
stuck
network
in
issue.
between.
I don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
getting stuck.
Just try with pencils, and I will be showing you how to do with pen. First, nib practice. I will show you how to prepare the inks first. I use Fevicryl acrylic paints. As of now, I don't have any inks with me. So, you can also use gouge paints, but acrylic paints are not advisable. But still, I don't have any inks with me now. So, I'm using acrylic paints. Just take small amount of acrylic paint and dilute it with water. That's it. Don't dilute it too much, or don't have your inks to be so thick. It should be in an intermediate consistency. So first we are going to do is nib practices. Nib practice. First stroke is the full pressure stroke. This is my full pressure stroke. That is, you should pressure your nib so that your central nib will divide. If you don't have ink, it will be. This is a full pressure stroke. Just pressure your nib. While doing in pencils, just pressure your pencil in 55-degree angle. Yeah, this is the first one, full pressure stroke. The next thing is the thin to thick line. Thin to thick line. That is, don't pressure your nib too much. Thin lines to thick lines. Thin lines to thick lines. Gradually, don't bury it while using pencil. I'm using pencils. Thin line to thick line. Thin line to thick line. Thin line to thick line. These are all nib practices you should be doing initially. Okay. The next is thick to thin. So vice versa. Thick line to thin line. Yeah, just vary the pressure. Slowly decrease your pressure of the nib. This might help you in using the nib. More flexibility in using the nibs. These exercises will increase the flexibility. Yeah, you can see now. The next is combination lines. That is both the thick and thin lines in alternatives. So thick, thin, thick, and thin. It might start with thin too. Thin, thick, thin, and thick. So actually this is not right. I'm doing it wrong. It should gradually decrease. Thick, thin, and thick, and thin. Yeah, this line is correct. Thin, thick, thin, and thick. Yeah, these two lines, last two lines are correct. Thick and thin, thick and thin. Then thin, thick, and thin, and thick. Yeah, I'm doing it with pencils now. Yeah, there is no much variation in pencils. Thin, thick, and thin. Thin, thick, thin, and thick. Combination lines. These four exercises are the basic nib exercise, nib practice. So if you're a beginner, do this as you get flexibility. You will be getting flexibility even more in using the nibs. The next is basic strokes. The basic strokes. The first thing is entrance or exit stroke. All these all these are mentioned in the PPT. If you need, I may share the PPT too. The first basic stroke is entrance or exit stroke. The entrance or exit stroke is nothing but the stroke which is used when you start a letter or end the letter. For example, A. You will not write the letter A like this. This is a wrong one. You should have a entrance stroke, start with the letter, and an ending stroke. This ending stroke might be the end of this letter and the entrance stroke of the next letter coming, which might be R. See, and then the exit stroke, and this might be another entrance stroke for the next letter. So you should start a letter with the entrance stroke and end the letter with the entrance stroke. These are the entry and exit strokes. So the normal down to upward line, thin line, is the entrance stroke. This is the entrance stroke or exit stroke. Okay, the next is overturn or underturn. Overturn or underturn is normally a U-turn which comes in an oval. Draw a oval base. If you are a beginner, started with your draw an oval like this. And then start doing the strokes, that is U-turn or that is the overturn or underturn strokes, so that it will be perfect. For this is an overturn stroke that is started with thin line and ended with thick line. Started with thin line and ended with thin line. So it must tuck within the oval. This will help you in keeping the letters in a narrowed shape. This will help you. In the letter like N, H, M will have a narrowed spacing in between. So the strokes, practicing these strokes will make you write those letters properly. And now the U-turn, that is start with a thick line and end with a thin line. The letters like U will comes under the stroke. Start with a thick line and end in the thin line. This is the overturn and underturn stroke. Overturn and underturn stroke. Sorry. The next is ascending descending stem loop. Ascending descending stem loop. So that first is ascending loop. The first is ascending loop. Started with thin line, ended in thin line. Always make sure your N lines in wherever it may be. The N lines end in a box-like way. See, like this in a box. It should not be any curved. It should be like a square. It may be curved if it is a style. And this is the ascending stem loop, and this is the descending stem loop. Be showing here. Started with a thick line and ended in the same. This ascending loop will be coming in the letters like H, and then K, B, D, T, E, and loops will be coming D, Q, Y. Yeah. The transition formed from thick to thin lines helps to make the letters look elegant and delicate. So, started with a thin line and ended in a thick line. In the descending loop, started with a thick line and ended in the thin line, so that the letters look so elegant and delicate. Finally, the compound curves. This is the final basic stroke curve. Start with a thin line, you have a thick line, and end with a thin line. Okay. Start with a thick line and then thin line, end with a thin line. These two are the two compound curves. The one thing you have to notice is, I will be showing you in the next one. See, draw two oval. To maintain spacing between two curves. So if you draw ovals in equal spacing, which will be helpful for you to maintain the spacing. Start with a thin line. Oh, sorry. Start with a thin line, go for thick, and then thin. And then start with a thick line, go for thin, and then thick. These are all the compound curves. To practice it so well for your flexibility and to get your letters more perfect. That's all about the strokes, and we are moving on to the lowercase letters. I have categorized the lowercase alphabets based on the strokes. First, I will be showing. First is the oval. These are all. This is how I have categorized the lowercase alphabets, like the base oval letters, double oval letters, U-turn letters, ascending stem loop letters, and descending stem loop letters. These are all the 5 categories I have categorized the alphabets. Okay, first I will be explaining how to write. Categorizing like this will help you learn it so quick. First is lowercase oval alphabets, that is A, C, E, which lies between the waistline and the baseline. That is the major 2 lines. These are all really an easy letters, and you can start it with lowercase oval letters because these are all the major letters found in most of the words. Yeah, draw the ovals, which will be helping you in structuring your letters. Don't draw too close. This is actually close. Always start a letter with a starting stroke, that is the entrance stroke. Give pressure, see, and then pressurize a little bit and lower your pressure, and end it with ending stroke. This is letter A. Always draw a oval to structure your letters. Start with entrance stroke. The next letter is C. Thin line, thick line, and exit stroke. The letter A, C, and E resembles most similar strokes are used, just a single variation. Start with the entrance stroke. This is letter E. And then the next letter is O. Start with the entrance stroke, pressure, thin line, and an exit stroke. Exit stroke differs from letters. As you practice your letters, you will know how to end your strokes in each letters. The next letter is S. Start with the entrance stroke. Always start with an entrance stroke. And another exit stroke. Letter S, and then R. We have one more letter. Yeah, I have not started R with entrance stroke. That's a mistake. You should not do it. So these are all the first set of oval letters, base oval letters, and then we have base oval and U-turn letters. Combination of both the oval and U-turn. We have two letters. These are all base oval letters. The next is combination of oval and U-turn. That draw the oval. Only two letters, that is U and N. U and N comes under this category. That is combination of both oval and U-turn. Sorry, N and V. Starting with the base stroke and end it. This is how it comes in the oval and an overturn stroke. B. Start with an entrance stroke, thick line, thin line, and an exit stroke. These two letters comes under combination of oval and U-turn. The next stroke is double oval. Double oval letters. Just draw double oval. To maintain spacing, you draw ovals. If you are a pro or a master, there is no need for any guidelines or any reference lines. Again, two letters comes under this double oval, that is M and X. Entrance stroke from entrance stroke and thick, thin to thick. And while writing M and N, the other thing you have to notice is the spacing. See, the spacing between these space. This should be noticed. This should be equal. Don't write letter like this. This is not N. You should have a space which looks your N even more elegant and beautiful, or something aesthetically good. End M with exit stroke. The next letter is X. Started with entrance stroke and exit stroke. These are all the two letters which comes under double oval letters. These are all the oval letters. We have completed the first set of letters completely, and then next set is the ascending stem loop. Ascending stem loop is the letters which touch the first 1D, that is 1A, that is one ascending line. First ascending line. So you have three more letters, that is U-turn letters. It is I, U, and W. We have U-turn letters now. So draw U-turns for lesson. W is a letter where two user coming next to the first. The first is I. It is always start a letter with entrance stroke, thick to thin, and an ending stroke. This forms I. The next is U. Starting stroke, thick to thin, ending stroke. Always make sure the strokes, the top strokes or the bottom strokes should have a rectangular finish. The next is W. Starting with the entrance stroke, thick to thin, always end W in this way. Whenever you flourish, also you must end W in this way, or else it might look like U in few words. In few conditions, it might look like U. So that you must always finish your W with a loop, or you should end your exit stroke in this way. Yeah, that's all. This is the letters which which lies in the middle. It is the waistline and the baseline, in between the waistline and baseline. The next is the ascender stem loop. Yeah. Ascender stem loop, the letters like B, D, T, H, L, and K comes into ascending stem loop. So the first is B. Starting with entrance stroke. B. D, and then T. Always when you write a line, well, don't drag it like this, as we all write in all cases, because the ink may get smudged or ink may get dragged when your nib moves. So take off your pen and then T and then H. Yeah, as I mentioned in M and N, the spacing should be properly maintained in H also. Wherever you draw your overturn or inverted U-turn, the spacing should be carefully maintained, which makes your H, M, and N look even more elegant. Always fill your ink. Don't allow your ink to flow into the flange. Actually, due to some hurry or nervousness, I have added the ink flow through the flange. Actually, don't allow the ink to flow through your flange. As you work on the central oval might get closed. Actually, the ink ink has clogged because this oval or this round area is clogged. The paint get dried. Or even when using walnut inks or any other inks, you should be careful, and you should always wipe off the round area to get continuous flow of ink. So I have wiped off to show you that area. So that wipe off and then fill the ink and then continue writing. Just wipe it off and clean it properly with a cloth. In case if you need water, you can also wash it with water. The final letter in the ascending stroke is K. These are all the ascending stem loop letters. The next is ascending stem loop letters. The letters like F, J, Y, Z, and P comes under ascending loop. First is F. Starting with the entrance loop, entrance stroke, and ending with exit stroke. Yeah, the central line is thick to thin, and then you have a delicate hairline. Yeah, I will be writing F one more. Starting with a hairline, entrance stroke. Yeah. These thin lines, these hairline lines will take time. As much as you use both the thick and thin lines, your letters will be seriously very, very elegant to look. Even the size of the loop matters. So be careful in the size of the loops we are making. The next letter is, I think it's Y. I think it's J. Yeah, started with the entrance stroke, thick to thin. This is the ending stroke. If I'm writing the word joy, while you're forming letters, the spacing between the letters also matters. It should be equal. This is how I have shown you how to write Y also. The size of the loops matter when you're compounding or forming the words. The next is Z and P. Those are all the two last letters. Starting with entrance stroke. Yeah, this is Z, and then sorry. In P, you will be having the full pressure line, starting with the entrance stroke, full pressure line. Yeah, and the exit stroke. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, we have completed the lowercase alphabets. Hope you found it useful. And there are so many flourishing techniques and uppercase alphabet. These are all the basics you have to know before you're starting with the calligraphy. Now I will be showing few how to flourish the lowercase alphabets. I will be sharing my screen. These are all the few ways how you can flourish your lowercase alphabets. These are all N flourishes. And these are all the descending letters like YG, how to flourish the descending letters. And this is the crossbar flourishes. The letter with crossbar flourish is the T, the letter T. You have only one letter in that flourish. Yeah. Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed and found it useful.
Thank you, Judith. This was an amazing session.
Thank you, Judith. It was useful. Like ரொம்ப பேசிக்ஸ்ல இருந்து எல்லாருக்குமே எப்படி புரியணுமோ அதே மாதிரி சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்க. எல்லாருமே ஈஸியா லேர்ன், ஈவன் அந்த நிப்ல இருந்து எல்லாமே என்னென்ன பண்ணணும் எது பண்ணக்கூடாதுல இருந்து எல்லாமே சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்க. ஹோப் இட் வில் பி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல் ஃபார் எவ்ரி ஒன். ஐ திங்க் எல்லாருமே ட்ரை பண்ணுவாங்க, எல்லாருக்கும் பிடிச்சிருக்கும், ஃபுல்லா புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் தட்.
Thank you, Suprada. Is there any doubt?
எஸ், யாருக்குன்னா ஏதாச்சும் டவுட் இருக்குன்னா யூ கேன் ஆஸ்க். இப்ப யாருக்கு என்ன டவுட் இருக்கோ நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு கேட்டுக்கலாம். Before that, thanks a lot for offering a session in Let's Talk, Let's Connect.
Thank you.
Thank you. பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ், உங்களுக்கு டவுட் இருந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு கேட்கலாம். யாருக்குமே டவுட் இல்லையா? ஓகே, ஐ திங்க் உங்க யாருக்கும் டவுட் இல்லைங்கிற மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கிறேன். இல்லை டவுட் யோசிங்க, அதுக்குள்ள நான் ஒரு 2 கொஸ்டின் கேட்டுடுறேன். அண்ட் ஹவ் ஆர் யூ ஃபீலிங் நவ் ஆஃப்டர் ஆஃபரிங் அ செஷன் இன் லெட்ஸ் டாக் லெட்ஸ் கனெக்ட்?
இங்க செஷன் நடத்தும் போது நடத்தணும் அப்படிங்கிறப்போ நான் இன்னும் அதிகமா லேர்ன் பண்ணிக்கிட்டேன். இன்னும் எனக்கு ஆல்ரெடி என்ன தெரிஞ்சிருந்தாலும் சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறப்ப நான் இன்னும் நிறைய ரெஃபர் பண்ணேன். இன்னும் ஐ லேர்ன்ட் அ லாட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். அப்புறம் இப்படி இப்படி ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் கொடுத்த அமேசிங் ஹியூமன் பீயிங்ஸ்க்கும் ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ்.
Thank you. Let's talk, let's connect. Pati, any opinion?
நிறைய பட்டிங் டேலண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் நீங்க கொண்டு வரீங்க வெளியில. பிகினர்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு நல்ல பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்.
Thank you. You have a doubt in chat section, I think. How long we should practice to get this perfection? By JK.
Yeah, now I have been practicing this for I think it's 10 months. Yeah, it depends on your practice time, the time you allocate for your practice. You might also get all strokes properly in just 2 months or in just within a week if you work on calligraphies for 24 hours or more than an hour a day. It depends on your practice time.
Another question is, can we use usual drawing papers to practice? From Gayatri.
Usual drawing papers, GSM should be minimum 120. If the GSM is above 120, you can use those papers for calligraphy. If the GSM is less than 120, the paper might bleed. That's the only reason you should not use. The paper may tend to absorb the inks. So minimum paper should be of 120 GSM.
Thank you. Hope she got it. So anyone else having any other doubts?
Yeah, if you want to learn more flourishing techniques or uppercase alphabets, you can follow me in Instagram and you can clear your queries by texting me in Instagram at WhatsApp Judy. And I am planning for a workshop by end of September, and in the first week of October you can also join those workshops for more details and techniques. Thank you.
Thank you. So can you please share your Instagram ID in the chat section so that they can get it?
This is my Instagram ID.
Yeah, okay. And there is another question. Yeah, okay, you continue.
Yeah, is she having any YouTube channel to follow?
No, I don't have any YouTube channels.
Okay, I'll follow you in Insta. Thank you.
You can also use brush pens, but brush pens comes under brush calligraphy. It has separate techniques, a separate style to follow, and brush pens cannot be used in copper plate calligraphy. Brush pens are different and copper plate calligraphy is different. You can start off your calligraphy with brush pens. After you get flexibility in using brush pens, you can change over to copper plate.
So anyone having any other doubts?
What is the difference between the straight holder and the oblique holder?
There is no
I mean, is there any
difference.
specific difference?
If you use the oblique holder, the flange will already be in 55-degree angle, which will be easy for you to align your letters in 55-degree. If you use straight holders, you have to align your, because we generally use straight pens for writing. So it will be difficult for us, not difficult, always practice makes, but still it will be difficult for us to align in 55-degree angle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will share the PPT with Subha. You can get
Okay.
it from her.
Can we write in A4 sheet from Kavini level?
No,
Kavini
actually
level.
A4 sheet, I said I will say no to A4 sheet because for practice with the pencil you may use A4 sheet. Use little more thick sketchbook papers. Any sketchbook papers are advisable to use other than A4 sheets.
Anyone else having any doubts? I think no doubts anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, you can start your work with normal pen. Yes. Once you practice well with a normal pen, you can use different types of nibs to do your writings. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have used this is a grid. I am using this grid book from 120 GSM. This grid book I got it from Ananda Craft Store in Chennai. I'm using a grid book.
So यार कोई दो doubt इलेना we can wrap up. Anyone else having any doubts?
We can
And
use regular
Shanti
inks
Sam
like,
asked something in English. Yeah.
Yeah, you can use any inks, regular inks too, normal for practice. Make sure the paper is good. Just for I prefer normal inks or regular inks for practice, only for practice, because it doesn't go well with the paper, or the looks will not be so good when compared to the other inks. For economical way, you can use water-based ink that is from Oricali website. I use Oricali colors, but I don't have those colors currently with me. Those colors are seriously good and budget friendly. You can use Oricali colors. How calligraphy is useful? There are if you are so good at your calligraphy, if you have so good calligraphy skill, then you can even the wedding invitations, restaurant menu cards are written by calligraphists. Yeah, even the Ambani's daughter's wedding invitation, then Priyanka Chopra's wedding invitation was handwritten. So if you're so good at your skill, you can come. You can definitely shine in your talent. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So anyone else having any doubts?
Yeah, another class is I am conducting workshops on calligraphy by last week of September. I think there is no there is no other session in the AHP. If you want to enroll, you can enroll the workshop in Instagram. Shall we end up, Subha?
Yeah, I think no more doubts, I think.
Had a doubt. What pen to use for calligraphy? Yeah, that's what I said. There are two types of holders: the right and oblique. You may use any one of those which is comfortable. Okay. Okay. That's all, Subha. That's we end
Okay,
up.
that's all I think. So thank you for clarifying everyone's doubts. Thank you once again, Judith. And so நாளையிலிருந்து ஒரு 3 days there is a 3-day workshop on Python with the help with data science. So if anyone having interest in learning Python with data science, you can join in that also.
Someone
Thank you
asked,
all.
why are you using
Yeah.
grid book? Grid books can because if you are using plain paper, you should so often you should draw guidelines, grid lines to work on. If you use grid books, there is a defined line, so you can define your limits. You can it is very easy to set your limits. Yeah, someone is asking when is Python workshop?
Tomorrow 6 to 7:30. From tomorrow, there will for 3 days.
You can also
If you
use
are in this,
dot books for reference. Yeah, you can use dot books and also grid books. Whichever is comfortable is up to you. Same ID password man கேக்குறாங்க Python workshop.
ID and password will be deferred. நீங்க அந்த WhatsAppல வரும். Yeah. இதுல வந்து sorry. Wait a minute. இல்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இருக்க வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா you will get the update and so அதனால that will be helpful for you. So if you are not in this group, do join in the WhatsApp group. You will get the updates daily. Actually, the basics and the intermediate were already over, and those sessions will be available in that open sessions. That is the third link that will be available. And this is about the Python with data science. What all to be covered in the 3 days will be intimated in the group today itself. Actually basics and மத்தது வந்து ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. அந்த group இது வரைக்கும் பார்க்கல அப்படினா you can learn that also from the recorded session. So this is what to be covered in the 3 days. So copy பண்ணி வெச்சுக்கோங்க if you want. So any other doubts or can you wrap up the session? Yeah, okay. Thank you all. We will end up the session. Thank you.